This is Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. Thank you so much for joining us again. We're joined by Sam Pedroza. He is mayor of Claremont. He's also a member of the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership. But I want to talk to you, sir, about the drawing of lines in terms of political districts. As you know, the voters passed two propositions in the last few years to give that responsibility to a commission as opposed to elected officials. They recently came out with the lines. Let's focus on the state lines, Assembly and Senate. Talk to us about your views on that issue.
Well, the Economic Partnership did put together an ad hoc committee to look into this, and we developed three main principles to guide us in our recommendations to the commission. And those three were to keep our San Gabriel Valley cities whole, and I think that was pretty consistent up and down the state. And for the most part, we did achieve that goal. The other two goals, nesting was one. Nesting is where you have two assembly seats in one
Senate seat. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. And unfortunately, because it didn't happen, I think perhaps it's leading to the result of potential lawsuits.
Well, let's talk. What's the third? And then I want to talk about the lawsuits.
Thank you. And the third is keeping the majority of the seats in San Gabriel Valley.
Okay.
If there's any part of the seat that has San Gabriel Valley, we would hope and we push to have the majority of those.
Which dovetails into the potential litigation and referendum on the lines that were adopted by the commission. I think it's fair to say that the most controversial come out of this, the California State Senate side. You have the Republicans just hopping mad about it. They believe the lines were drawn to favor the Democrats. They want them overturned. They're going to a court. They want to bring a referendum. What do you make about this decision to not accept the lines but to fight?
Well, it's going to be an interesting fight. My personal feeling is that are they going to put that money into getting that referendum? It costs a lot of money, as you know, gathering signatures and paying for that. And do they have that type of funding? The stakes are high, however, because what they're fighting for is to prevent the Democrats from having that two-thirds majority.
They believe that two seats will flip, and that will give the Democrats two-thirds in the Senate, though, but not in the Assembly. I don't think there's any view that the Democrats, without a landslide, will pick up two additional seats in the Assembly.
But that's where our budgets get passed, and so the stakes are high. However, I think the citizens voted overwhelmingly for the Citizens Commission, and so I think it's a tall order to go after.
At the same time, if you just look at the demographics of the state, and if you look at registration patterns and voting patterns, regardless of what your party preference is, this state is becoming more democratic and more ethnic.
Right, absolutely.
And as a result, I think it's difficult for those that support more conservative white Republican seats to argue that that's what the voting patterns and ethnic patterns would dictate.
Right, and that's where the strange bedfellows theory comes in, where the other group that's also not very happy with the Senate seats are the Latinos.
The MALDEF, Mexican-American Legal Defense Fund.
Absolutely.
But what's interesting is, as a general proposition, wouldn't you say objectively that Latino communities did quite well in terms of registering overall?
Right, they have, but in the last decade, when the last lines were drawn, the growth has been 90% has been Latino growth.
It has been very high.
And so instead of the Senate seats reflecting that,
again, it's back to the Senate.
And that's where the voting rights the amendment, which is the main criterion that the commission had used.
At the same time, you see a tremendous growth in Latino population, but not voting.
Right. There's some social aspects to that.
How can we change that?
Well, I think the more that Latinos get involved and engaged in their communities and feeling like they do have a voice, I think that's when you'll see more involvement and more voting.
His name is Sam Pedroza. He is he's actually the mayor of Claremont, as well as a member of the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership. If you'd like to watch more editions of Local Edition, go to Channel 1 and then hit Local and then My Government. I'm Brad Pomerance. Back to HLN.